All right, now in this example, we're going to be converting the following Hindu-Arabic numeral, 3,459, into the coolest numerals ever, Roman numerals. Now, I went ahead and wrote out a table down here that shows you the Roman numerals and their values. And I have a thing right here. And what this tells us is that if we are increasing, when we read the Roman numerals from left to right, we subtract. So for example, IV, I went from smaller to bigger. So this is 5 minus 1 for 4, and so IV is how the Romans would write 4. But if I'm going down from left to right, so like VI, or if I'm staying the same, I just add them. So VI would just be 5 plus 1 equals 6. And I said, or if we're staying the same. And so if I added a 1 here, this would just become 5 plus 2, 4, 7. Now, if I want to convert this numeral right here into Roman numerals, I need to figure out how to write 3,459. So, if I want to write 3,000, I'll just need 3 m's. Or in fact, you know what? Let's split this up a little bit. Let's just say this is 1,000 plus 400 plus 50 plus 9. Because if I do that, I can focus on figuring out how to write each individual piece instead of trying to split this up in my head as I go. So, if we write 3,000 and not 1,000, because that's how many thousands we have right there, I'll need how many m's? Well, 1 m is 1,000, so 3 m's for 3,000. You just add them up. Okay, 400. You might be tempted to go C for 400. 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. But there's a rule in Roman numerals. You cannot repeat a character more than 3 times. So, this is not allowed. Instead, you have to try to write it with the subtraction rule, where you go from a smaller number to a bigger number. So how could I write 400 by subtracting? Well, if I look at the chart here, I see that D represents 500. Well, if I subtract 100 from 500, that would be 400, right? So I'll write CD right here, because I'm going from smaller to bigger, 100 to 500, and so that represents 500 minus 100 for 400. Okay, 50. Well, I have a symbol for 50 right here, L. Don't need to do anything fancy at all. Okay, and 9, again, might be tempted to say, okay, I'll start with V for 5, and then 5 plus 4 would be 9. So V, I. Ah, can't do this. That's 4 symbols in a row, and we're not allowed to do that. So instead, we'll try to do it by subtraction. So, all right, I've got x for 10, and if I subtract 1 from 10, that'll give me 9. So that's going to be ix. And so if I write this more neatly, without all these little weird spaces in there, or weird by Roman standards, this would be M, C, D, L, I, X. And that is how the Romans would have written 3,459 in their system, and that is that example.